Disney's paid after-hours event has finally come to Epcot, and we are here tonight on the very first night of this event to help you decide if this is something you should add to your next trip to Walt Disney World. Let's go do it. Hi-ho everybody, this is Rob with Ear Scouts coming to you from the very first night of Epcot's After Hours event. Now, this event has been happening at Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, even Typhoon Lagoon, but this is the first time it's being offered here at Epcot. Epcot is a little bit of an unusual choice for this event because it's not really a park that is as focused on rides as the other parks, although with the opening of Guardians, there is definitely a big hook to get people to come, because when you come here for this event, you don't have to worry about a virtual boarding group or an individual attraction lightning lane. You can just get in line like any other ride. For a lot of folks, that will be a major selling point for this event. But before we get into all that, let's go over some basics of this event. It costs about the same price as a regular day park ticket. We'll put the pricing up on the screen right now. But if you're here at Disney World for multiple days, you'll know your ticket price per day gets cheaper each day. So this is probably going to be more expensive for you than adding another day at the park. Obviously, a park day is going to be from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So you're going to have like 12 hours here at Epcot. With this event, you're getting in at 7 o'clock. You can be here with the regular crowd until 9. Then there's this weird window from 9 until 10 where the event hasn't officially started. That starts at 10, but you are allowed to still be here. I would assume attractions are going to be running from 9 to 10, but that is one of those things we're going to be checking out when we're here tonight. The event itself runs from 10 p.m. until 1 a.m., so it's 3 hours. It should be really, really low capacity. If the other events at Magic Kingdom are any guide, it will be pretty much a walk-on for most attractions. There are some other little perks that you get. There are free popcorn, sodas, and ice cream treats. There also will be some character meet and greets available. Now, Disney has not been very clear about what characters will be here. Are they going to be the usual characters that are here during the day, or are they going to be something special? That is another thing we'll be finding out tonight. The way we're going to approach this night in this video is not necessarily the way I think you should approach this night, and I'm going to explain why. What we're going to do is from 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock, we're going to see how many of these rides up here at the front of the park we can get done. We're going to focus on those rides that have really short wait times, things like Journey into Imagination with Figment, or Spaceship Earth, or Finding Nemo. These kinds of rides, typically the last 2 hours of park time, they're kind of walk-ons. So if you do plan to focus on rides, that's going to help you to know how much you can get done while the park is still open. The reason I say this isn't necessarily what you should do, though, is because I am suspecting that a lot of World Showcase is going to be closed. We're going to find that out later tonight. What I'm going to be doing is, as soon as this event starts, I'm going to be heading back into World Showcase because I want to be able to show all of you what are the things that are open? What can you do during this event back in World Showcase? Is your favorite dining spot open, or is that something you're going to need to make sure you do before the event starts? We have a whole lot to cover in this video, so let's hop to it. I'm going to use the magic of editing to take you forward in time to 7 o'clock when we ride our very first ride. Let's go. And we are 1 minute before 7 o'clock. Of course, as with all Disney After Hours events, the first night is rainy. I don't know what it is. Every time I cover these events, I come the first night and there's always rain. So our plan right now is we're gonna start here with Journey into Imagination with Figment, and then we're just gonna kind of sweep across the front of the park and see how many of these attractions we can get done before the park closes. Are you ready? Let's go. Ride number 1. The event has officially begun. I actually went up to get my wristband on my way over to this side of the park. Unfortunately, right now, if you're already in the park, they require you to exit and come back in. I think that'll probably change after they've done this a few times. Traditionally at these events, there is a check-in point somewhere inside the park. So if you're there during the day, you don't have to leave and come back. But for right now, we had to leave and come back. I also got over just in time to see the very first standby queue for Guardians of the Galaxy. They are starting the queue at 9 p.m. So as long as you have your wristband, you can start entering that standby queue at 9 p.m. Instead of getting in that line right away, I decided I would head over here and do Mission Space first. The reason being that there's a ton of people who were super excited to get in that standby queue for Guardians, so I imagine it's gonna be a little bit longer of a wait right now than it will be later. So we'll do a little quick side trip to Mars, and then we will come back to save the galaxy. Let's go do it. So we are the only people here. So I did notice as I was coming in, there was actually no posted wait time, which is not really typical for these events. Usually you do see posted waits in the app and at the attractions. So we'll see if those come online later in this event.
All good for launch. Commander, just remember your assignments.
Even though we were the only people in line, eventually some other folks did show up, but it was a really long wait just because the doors had closed to the group right before us. So it was just kind of luck of the draw. We came in at the exact wrong moment, but essentially it was a walk-on up until we hit the pre-show. I do want to answer a quick question right off the bat. Earlier tonight, when we were going through all those rides, we were not using Disney Genie Plus. We were just using the standby queue. Now, if you were here during one of the busiest summer days, you probably would find lines slightly longer than what we found, but as a rule, once you get towards the end of the day, especially close to fireworks, the queues for those rides we were doing earlier, with the possible exception of Soarin', are usually very, very short. So that should work out for you even without Disney Genie Plus. Now, once we hit this event, there is no Genie, no lightning lanes. Everything is going to be a standby queue. And the idea behind these after hours events is the capacity is so reduced, it's so limited that you're not going to need lightning lanes. Essentially, every ride is going to be like a lightning lane, hopefully. I was looking in the app to see if I could see wait times. Unfortunately, there are no wait times showing. It would not surprise me if that is something that they add later. It is something at the Magic Kingdom events you'll see wait times posted, which is very handy because even with reduced capacity, sometimes certain rides do get kind of backed up a little bit. But we will find out later tonight if that's the case here. It looks like Guardians is pretty dead right now. So I think I'm gonna head over right now and knock out Guardians, and we might do it again later tonight at the end of the night if we have time, and that way we can just see how the wait times compare here towards the beginning of the event and again at the end. Well, that did not go exactly as planned. We got all the way up almost to the pre-show, and then they announced that the ride was down. So waited a little while for it to come back online. It did not look like it was coming back online. So we exited. It was a packed house on the way out. So I feel really bad for the folks getting in line now, but the event has now officially started. We basically spent all of our in-between time trying to get on Guardians and Mission Space. The reason I'm inside Connections right now, this is open, by the way, so if you're looking for a bite to eat up here at the front, this is open. But that's not why I'm here. The reason I'm here is because this is the only place where there is not blaring dance music. So there is a dance party going on here in World Discovery. There's also now the snack stands open where you can get complimentary popcorn and snacks. So Guardians may be down, but there's free ice cream and the wait times are back online, which is nice. I guess it's just that weird no man's land between the park closing and the event beginning. That's when you will not see wait times, but there are wait times posted now, which is great news. Let's head on in and do test track. We are here now in the most expensive gift shop in all of Walt Disney World. Although they did not have any guides when I was coming in at the front, I did run into some folks who came in through the International Gateway. Apparently back there they had guides for the event. So thankfully one of those folks who came in the back gave me their guide. We're gonna put a list up right now of the different things that the guide says are open for restaurants, shops, but I really just want to go back into World Showcase. Even though I kind of have a sense now of which restaurants are going to be open and which shops are going to be open, I just kind of want to get a feel for what's going on in those World Showcase countries. So let's go take a midnight stroll around the world, y'all. Well, our first stop is Canada, and I have 3 words for you, my friends. Free maple popcorn. This is where it's at. Well, unfortunately, here at our first pavilion, the only thing open is the popcorn stand. But the good news is they are offering the maple popcorn for free. So I would say Canada is definitely worth a stop to get that free maple popcorn. But if you want to enjoy the Canada Pavilion, including Canada Far and Wide, you're gonna have to be here before the event starts. So weird coming into the World Showcase countries with nobody here. It's like we're in London after the apocalypse or something. It's kind of cool though. I like that if you really wanted to experience these pavilions like all by yourself with no one else, this is the time to do it. So Yorkshire County Fish Shop was open earlier, but apparently it does close at 11 o'clock. Same thing with Connections, I just found out. So if you're planning to eat at one of those spots, definitely plan to eat there earlier. But I do have some good news, and that is you can go to the pub at Rose and Crown through this entire event. They're open until 1 a.m. We might have to end up there for a pint later, I'm not sure. But for right now, we're gonna head on into France. Is it weird that I am loving walking through these World Showcase countries completely empty? I think it might actually be my favorite thing about this event so far. So we are here in France. Another thing I'm liking about France, in most of the World Showcase countries, you can't hear it because I'm drowning out the music, but there is dance music basically playing in all those other countries. But here in France, up here near Ratatouille, they are playing French music, which I'm digging that. I appreciate that. I kind of like each country in the World Showcase having its own vibe, so I was a little bummed that it seemed like everything was going to be dance music, but here there's definitely some nice French vibes going on. So the only things open here are Ratatouille and a meet and greet with Mickey, which was pretty surprising. Normally there's a princess meet and greet there, so fun to see Mickey in a new spot wearing his fancy classic getup. But right now the wait time for Remy is only 15 minutes, so I feel like we gotta go have a rendezvous with our favorite rat, right? Let's go do it. Well, Remy is definitely having some issues tonight. Earlier tonight, the ride was actually down. It's functioning now, but it went back to half capacity. So in the time that we were in that line, it went from a 15-minute wait to a posted 45-minute wait. Let's take a look at those wait times as we head over to our next World Showcase country. It is not looking great for fans of Guardians of the Galaxy or Remy right now. Remy is definitely having some technical issues. Guardians, as we know, went down earlier tonight. I kind of feel like at this point, that's just what the queue is going to be looking like for Guardians. It is definitely the star attraction at this event. That's what people came for. Probably a lot of folks are just going to come here and ride that one again and again. I'm hoping to see that line go down towards the end of the evening. Hopefully we'll be able to make it over there. Well, that was a surprise. Unfortunately, our plan to stroll around the world is not going to work out. It seems that they're actually blocking off most of World Showcase. So you can only go from Norway to France. The rest of the World Showcase is off limits during this event. That's kind of a bummer, honestly. Well, we just found another character interaction over here by Disney Traders. You can meet Pluto. And it seemed like there was no way to meet Pluto. So if you wanted to get a fun character photo, that would definitely be an easy one to grab, especially later in the evening. Next stop is gonna be Mexico. So there are no dining options available here in Mexico, but pretty much everything else is open. You can do almost all the shopping. The Arribas Brothers store is closed, but everything else is open. Even over where they have the Alebrijes, even though there's no one over there, I spoke to a cast member, you can actually purchase anything that's out here in the plaza. It is nice to see how many options there are here in Mexico, in addition to, of course, the attraction. I don't think we're gonna ride the attraction right now just because we lost a lot of time on Remy. I wanna make sure that we get through the rest of the park, but it is very quiet in here. I am sure that would be a walk-on if we were to do it. Clearly, it is not one of the more popular things to do, but I am definitely digging exploring what we can of the World Showcase with nobody around. Unfortunately, none of the shopping is open here in Norway, but I've got some good news. You can, in fact, get school bread. No character meet and greet here, unfortunately. Anna and Elsa are not out, but Gods of the Vikings is open, and there's a 5-minute wait on Frozen. Let's go do it. I think this might be the shortest wait I've ever seen on this ride. It is a complete walk-on. There is nobody here. I heard that ImageWorks was open, came over to check it out, and yes, indeed it is open. Sadly, none of the character interactions are taking place. Apparently, the only characters you're gonna find in the front section of the park are gonna be Chip and Dale over in World Discovery. So we'll try to catch them when we head back to ride Guardians. Let's take a look at those wait times though, because man, Guardians still a 60-minute wait. This event is clearly all about Guardians. So let's head back over that way so we can ride it before the night is done. Well, while we were headed back over to Guardians, I figured I'd pop in here at the Seas just to see if this was open. Now the gift shop is open, but unfortunately the aquarium portion of the Seas is not. If you wanted to ride the Nemo ride, you could definitely do that, and you could hit the gift shop, but you can't see that amazing aquarium. So make sure you do that before the event starts if you want to see those fish. Now let's head over to World Discovery. We've only got 15 minutes of this event left. Let's take one last look at those wait times. Man, Guardians is not letting up. If you had told me at the beginning of this night that Guardians was gonna be a 60-minute wait at the end of this event, I would have said you were crazy, but there it is. Seems like everybody wants to be in World Discovery right now, so let's go join them. Well, the line for Guardians is spilling out. It looks like it is every minute of an hour. So before we go get in there, I figured we'd just pop in here to see that this store is in fact open. Treasures of Xandar is open for the duration of the event. You decide you really need a Star-Lord jacket before you go home, you can pop in here and get one on your way out. So when we were in here earlier, what apparently was happening was half the attraction was going down. The whole thing did not go down, but it moved into half capacity, much like Remy. So that's kind of why this line has stayed crazy long all night and has not gone down. Hopefully when you come here to After Hours, this attraction as well as Remy will be working at full capacity and you won't have to deal with an hour-long wait all night, but let's time it and see. Maybe it won't quite be an hour. We'll find out. Well, we are leaving this park after 2 a.m. It was a full hour-long wait. In the end, everything did kind of make a little bit more sense. So really the whole night, Guardians of the Galaxy was running at half capacity. That's why that line stayed so long. But I do think it's important to note, if you're coming to this event, that there just aren't as many heavy hitter attractions in this park. So even if those rides were running at full capacity, you're gonna find that there's going to be a lot of people clumped at those rides. So is this event something you should consider adding to your Disney World trip? I would say it depends a lot on what your goals are. This would not replace an Epcot day for me, mainly because you're gonna miss out on so much great stuff in World Showcase. So I think as long as you plan a World Showcase day, you could definitely use this event to kind of get all the rides in this park done. If you think about it, we did every single ride in this park except for Grand Fiesta Tour, and honestly, we had plenty of time to have done Grand Fiesta Tour if that had been our focus. So if you're planning to do a full Epcot day where you're going to enjoy World Showcase, I would say it's absolutely worth adding this after hours event so that you can kind of pack in all the rides as well. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope it helped you to decide whether or not you should come to after hours here at Epcot. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and then ring that bell. That way you'll be notified whenever new videos like this come out. Until next time, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.